Hi, can you hear me, Sensor?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
working, so can we just go like this to them? Can you tell them? Yeah, tell them I'll just got this and they move forward. Okay. All right. All right. When you guys are doing paneling, take your own chair up there. Okay. So the rest, take your chair straight. Okay. And then they'll ask you questions. Okay. All right. You all look beautiful, by the way. Okay.
We got a new one, so down is going to the next, up is going back.
Okay. Yeah. So down. Wait. Down is up.
Down is going to the next, and then up is going back to your previous slide.
All right. Wait. Is it? YouTube Live? That's the link I sent you. You have to send it. Thank you so much. Okay, sit in front. Okay. Sit next to Tony here. Live, okay? Guys, you will be tagging the president. It's Facebook Live, so you are on live in the globe. Just keep that in mind. It's up to you. I'm just telling you it's Facebook Live. Okay. Welcome, everyone. This is a joyous occasion, leadership. Welcome to the Asian Pacific Islander National Islander Student Leadership Symposium. My name is Professor Jenny Bond, and I want you to give a hand for yourself for coming to this leadership conference. My name is Jenny Bond, and I'm the Asian American Coordinator, Professor at Fresno State. And here's my and your beautiful MC. And if you could introduce yourself, Ms. Daisy.
Good morning, everyone. What a pleasure it is to be in a room with so many leaders on campus. My name is Daisy Tao. I am an Asian American Studies major, and you'll see me a little later on. But I am Dr. Bond's co-MC this morning.
So before we start, I'd really want to thank all the co-sponsors. So I would like to thank the Southeast Asian Student Success Center, the Asian American Studies Program, Asian Faculty and Staff Association, the MK Gandhi Center, the Learning Center, the AmeriAsia Club, and the Cross Cultural Gender Center. So please give a hand for these co-sponsors. And Ms. Daisy, can you go through our day?
Sure. So on the screen here, we have our agenda for today. We have a packed schedule for you guys through noon. So we will be doing our keynote speaker shortly after this by Mr. Anthony Lonsago. And then we'll move into our warm and fuzzies, which will be led by our peer leaders. And they'll come up and do that activity with us. And then we'll take a little break and an intermission. And then you guys can go to the restrooms. And then we'll come back together. And then we're going to do a meditation together. And we'll come and then we'll listen to Dr. Nia, and then we'll come back, and then we're gonna listen to some Asian American Studies students give a little presentation on what the major is and how you guys can get involved, and then we'll bring up a student panel, and you guys can ask them a ton of questions relating to college, the major itself, whatever you guys feel like you guys want to ask maybe college students and see what their perspective is on the major. And then after that, we'll move on to our next keynote speaker by Dr. Vina Howard. And then after that, we'll get lunch, butter chicken, like Dr. Bond has been saying, so everyone will get fed. And then we'll do a closing by Dr. Yang Xiaozhang. And then we can do some networking, mingle, and all that fun stuff at noon. So does that sound great, everyone? Does that sound good? Okay, awesome.
So I'd like to introduce my friend, Tony Lonsago, if you come forward. This is a gentleman that I have noticed he has quiet leadership. Wherever he goes, everyone appreciates him. And I've seen him lead teams, and people are very much respect him. I've known him now a couple of years, and something that I've known about him is that, one, he's very humble. Right? But actually, if you know more about him, you know that he's actually overcome and many unsurmountable things. So again, let's give a hand to our keynote speaker.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bond, and thank you very much for the warm welcome. So this is forward and back. Okay, so we're going to test some stuff out here. Oh, that's back and forward. And forward and back. Okay. Oh, shoot. All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Hello. I'm just testing the energy level here. Let me try one more time. Good morning. Thank you. I apologize. I'm really pulling up my phone just so I can keep track of time. I don't want to stand between you and the butter chicken later today. So that's why I'm putting my stopwatch on. But welcome everybody. My name is Tony Lasonko, and I am really grateful to have this chance to talk to you today and to meet some of you today. We're going to talk about leadership today. And so for this morning, before we get into other activities, to sort of ground you or to prepare you for some of the other activities today, I wanted to just introduce a few things regarding leadership: the what, the why, the how. So what does it mean to be a leader? So offering up a definition to you of what a leader is, talking about why you are the one to lead, why you are the one who should lead, and then offering up one way of how to lead, from offering that up from my own culture. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. Not too much, but a little bit. So, hola, zan hafode. Guahu si Anthony Ruen Gutierrez Lasonko, but you can call me Tony. My mother is from Mexico, so we are Hispanic. And my father was from Guam, a U.S. territory, just like Puerto Rico, in the Pacific. And so from him, I am Chamorro, that is the indigenous people of Guam, and also Japanese and Chinese and Spanish. So that's my cultural background. I went to Fresno High. If you went to Roosevelt, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. But I'm from here. And then I went to Yale University to get a bachelor's in linguistics. And then years later, I came to Fresno State for grad school, got a master's in counseling. And now I work at Fresno State. I lead teams. So the way that I show up as a leader includes being the tutoring coordinator in the Learning Center. Please come visit us in the library. That's my plug. But I lead a team of 55 student employees who serve you as students. And so I love doing that. And so that's one of the ways. And then being part of the Asian Faculty and Staff Association. That's another way in which I show up as a leader. If you don't know where Guam is, now I can tell you. I'm not sure if how well this pointer will show, but Guam is like right up there. And so it's in Micronesia, which is Greek for small islands. There are plenty of small islands, but Guam is the largest of those small islands at about 200 square miles. And so the legacy that my ancestors left to us is that we are leaders as navigators. We navigate. We find our way. And so through the development of technology like this proa, and through being conscious and observant of the stars and the sky and the winds, and through our oral histories, we learned to navigate. And we came from Taiwan to the Philippines to Guam about 3,500 years ago. And then you see all the other people that we're connected to from throughout the Pacific that navigated a lot too. So I want to start by telling you, offering up a definition to you about what leadership is in the first place. And I want you to know that it is a process. I'm going to recommend a book to you. This is called Leadership. It's by Peter Nordhaus. And I would recommend this to you. Peter Nordhaus, in this book called Leadership, offers a definition of leadership. Leadership is a process whereby an individual influences a group of individuals to achieve a common goal. What's the beauty of that? Can be a leader, and it doesn't, you may have this sense that like, oh, I'm a college student, I'm supposed to be a leader, and I'm supposed to have this all solved. But and I'm supposed to lead big organizations. I'm supposed to have all these great leadership roles. It's a process. It's something you will continue to work on throughout your life. You right now do not have to be the CEO of like Amazon or the president of an entire university. Leadership can show up in your in a series of one-on-one interactions, meaningful interactions with individuals. It can be in small groups. Gosh, it can be done online. It can be done asynchronously. You do not have to have 1,000 followers right now in order for you to be a leader. You simply have to start working on these relationships as a process. So the why of leadership. I want you to think about this. You're already a leader. You already lead, and maybe you don't realize it yet. You belong to groups already, and you have goals in these groups. You have groups, I mean, if we're all associated with Fresno State, then we're all Bulldogs. We all are part of that group, and we have goals. Like, I want the football team to win stuff, you know? And then I have other team allegiances as well, even if they don't win a Super Bowl each year or go to the NBA Finals each year. But you have groups. You're part of a major that includes many other people here on campus, and you're like-minded, and you have some common goals. And those goals can include getting the best grades you can, graduating, starting in your career, and giving back. A lot of you do the things that you want to pursue, the things that you're pursuing here at Fresno State because you want to give back to family, to community. So those are part of your goals. And I'm going to recommend another book to you. This is called Group Dynamics for Teams by Daniel Levy and David Esquet. So if you want to lead a team rather than a group, rather than just a collection of people, then think about looking at that book. In that book, they define teams as not just any collection of people, but it's a group of people who work interdependently to accomplish a goal. As I tell you about my how of leadership, then that's going to be something that I keep in mind, that anybody, any collection of people at any table here could be a group, but are you going to function like a team? Are you going to work like a team? You already demonstrate leadership skills now, you know? The things that you're doing now, that's leadership. You influence people already. And there's a flip side to it, you know, because you influence people whether you want them to or not, whether you think you are or not, in the things that you do and the things that you say. And so think about that. I'm borrowing a quote here from this man, John Wooden. He won 10 national championships as the head coach of the UCLA men's basketball team. And he said that the true test of a man's character is what he does when no one is watching. So when stuff's on the Instagram and TikTok and all these other social media platforms that I don't get involved in, there are lots of things that we do as sort of performance that we would do, the things that we would do and the things that we would say and the kind of images that we have out there of ourselves when we know people are watching. What are you going to do when you think nobody is watching? Are you still going to behave responsibly and ethically when nobody's watching, when you actually think that there's nobody there to see it? And people have invested in you for your success. So think about this. And Dr. Bond talks a lot with us about, you know, in this Asian American studies movement of 6 generations. Like 6 generations back, there were ancestors that made decisions, that did things, that influenced the lives that we have now and the things that we are able to do now that make it possible for us. So 6 generations ago, there have been people who invested in you to become a leader. They placed their hopes and their dreams, sometimes their financial, put in something financial, but also put in their blood, sweat, and tears for you. So if we are a representative sample of Fresno State and of California, then 2 out of 3 people in this room are first-generation college students. You're the first in your family to go to college. 2 out of 3 of you actually get enough aid to cover all of your tuition and fees here at Fresno State, a financial investment. 1 out of 4 of you are immigrants to this country, and 2 out of 5 of you are children of immigrants. So that's probably virtually everybody in this room that fits at least one of these things, where your elders have invested in you so that you could become a leader in this generation. So now let's talk about the how. I'm going to offer up something from my Chamorro culture from Guam. It's in four. I'm gonna build this out in 4 steps, but I need your help because this involves some Chamorro word specifically, and so this will be a chance for me to be able to teach you some Chamorro. You know, incidentally, March 1st begins what's called Mes Chamorro on Guam. It's Chamorro Language Month, and it's like 3 a.m. March 1st in Guam right now, so probably everybody's asleep over there. If I teach you some Chamorro, then we might actually be some of the first people in the world to celebrate Mes Chamorro this year. So I'm going to teach you some Chamorro. So I'm going to start by building out a cultural practice related to leadership, and it starts with this word. If I say this, I'm just going to ask if you could say it, if you could pronounce it with me. So the word is maulek. Maulek. Maulek means good. So if I ask you, one way I can say how are you or how are you doing is I can say todo maulek. Is everything good? The word is maulek. Okay, you got it. That's our building block here. Here's the second step. I'm going to add this word, this piece that's called fa. The apostrophe is a glottal stop. You stop your voice. So let's try fa maulik. One more time, fa maulik. Okay, the fa is a causative. It means to make or to cause. So this word means to make good. Sometimes we do things that fall short. They're unsatisfying results for us or for other people. When that happens, we can make it good. We can make it right. The third step here, I'm going to add this piece a at the beginning. So this is afat maulik. Afat maulik. Okay, the a is reflexive or reciprocal. So it means, so afat maulik means to make good for each other. This is mutual. Let's try one more time. Afat maulik. Okay, here's the, thank you for your cooperation. Here's the fourth and final piece here. So we put an in at the beginning, and this is inafat maulik. Let's try one more time. Inafat maulik. Yes, thank you. The in makes all of this a noun. So it is the act of making good for each other. Inafat maulik is about making things good for each other. And that is the cultural concept, a really foundational cultural concept in Chamorro culture. Inafat maulik. Let's try one more time. Inafat maulik. Thank you. All right. So with Inafat Malik, there's like 6. So this is one of the ways that guides me in terms of practicing leadership. There are 6 important values in Inafat Malik. I'll just touch on them briefly, but these are the 6. So you have respeto, which is respect, especially for your elders. You have mangingi. Mangingi is like an expression of reverence. What happens is like when elders put out their hand, like to, you greet your elder, a younger person will put their nose to that elder's hand. And that's one of the possible expressions of reverence. Mamahlau actually means like shame or embarrassment, but in this context with Inafat Maulik, it's about being humble. It's not being boastful about what you have or how you lead or that you own a leadership position, but rather you being humble and serving others in that leadership position. Chansuli is mutual donation. So sometimes it's financial, it's giving gifts to each other, it's being mutually indebted to each other. Sometimes it's financial, sometimes though, it's your time, it's your labor, it's your expertise. You kind of go mutually in debt with to each other. And so you work interdependently by giving to each other. Chetlu means sibling, and so it's like siblinghood. It's that I can treat everybody like family. I can treat you as if you were one of my brothers or sisters. Chetlu. And then finally, Patkun. Patkun means child, and it's that we are mutually responsible for children or for those who come after us. There are like 4,000 faculty and staff members here at Fresno State. Mutually, the 4,000 of us are mutually responsible for the 23,000 of you as students. So we take that responsibility seriously. These are 6 ideas related to Inafat Maulik. And I hope that this is a little something that can help you, that you can think about today as you try to implement your way of doing leadership. So whatever that is, I've introduced to you what, why, and how of leadership. Whatever your what, you know, your definition, whatever your why, whatever your purpose for being a leader, and whatever your how is, how you choose to implement that. Just know that you're doing it now. And the things that you're doing right now are going to be they may feel small to you, but they do have a ripple effect. If you think 6 generations out, you can do what seem like little things now that in 6 generations will be huge. So I'm going to end with one more Chamorro phrase for you. And so to say thank you, I'm going to close by saying, Sidzu Usma Asi, that is thank you. And thank you for your time. Have a great morning.
All right, let's give Tony another round of applause, everyone. Thank you so much. I hope everyone enjoyed that keynote speaking. And now we are going to be moving on to our warm and fuzzies. And I'm going to let our peer leaders explain that to you guys next.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alan Zhang.
My name is Brian. Nice to meet you guys all.
Unfortunately, Kalila is out sick today. She's not here with us. However, I want to explain our activity, Warm and Fuzzies. I'm sure you guys saw us handing out a bunch of things on your table. So what it is we have a lantern for you guys. Simply write down your name and like feel free to decorate it with stickers too. Afterwards, what we're gonna do is everybody is gonna go around introducing themselves. And when you do introduce yourself, so we're gonna do a quick little demonstration. So Brian, I asked Brian like, hey, like my name is Alan.
You introduce your major.
Yeah, introduce your major, your hometown, your current job. Fun fact about you, basically just introduce yourself to them, and they do the same to you. And once you guys do that, simply tie a ribbon onto the lanyard. So. Oh, okay, okay. My name is Alan. I am a second year at Fresno State. I am in pre-business. My hometown is here in Fresno, and a fun fact is I enjoy hiking. Nice to meet you, Alan. Nice to meet you. Like, I don't know how you. Hey, Alan. My name is Brian. I'm a computer science major here at Fresno State. It's my second year, and my hometown is Clovis. And one fun fact about me is that I love to eat all types of food. Nice to meet you, Brian. Very cool. And then boom, simply done. And then afterwards, move on to the next person. And just try your best to get as many ribbons as you can on your lanyard, so it can look very colorful. But essentially, that's it. So starting now until 9:50, if I can, I want everybody here to get their lanyard, start designing, and once you finish, start introducing yourself to people, and let's start getting connecting. Thank you, guys. Hello, everybody. Just quickly, we have 5 more minutes, and then after that, we'll move on to break. And during break, we have a bunch of snacks, a bunch of drinks. So please, please feel free to grab as many snacks as you want. And then after our break, we'll move on to meditation. Thank you, guys. Once again, we have 5 more minutes left.
They hear you, bro. I yell at you.
That's all you.
No, I'm just kidding, but I yell.
Grab the mic and start yelling. No, I feel bad. I feel bad for screaming.
Or if I'd be like, yo,
Oh,
I got
this.
all my
Oh,
clips.
this is the clicker. I didn't even know that.
Hit the baby blue dance. So we're trying to end at 9:50.
She said.
Why is she like rushing us?
She said 9. That's 9:45. I'm just saying 9:45, bro. Everybody's talking. I don't want to interrupt. Okay, when did we come back to break?
This is like the most productive and unproductive meeting we can have.
I know. At the beginning was rough, but bro, I'm like, shit. I'm surprised that the office is not opening for cook. But I'm glad. Do you have the schedule?
Yeah, it's Shamel sent it to us. It's on Gmail.
Where at? Where?
It should be. It should have like it was like in your first email a while back. I'll check. Oh, I found it.
Hey,
Yeah, it's supposed to be done by 9:50.
9:50. She said 9:45, so.
Hey, he got one.
Oh,
That's my guy.
Oh my God, that's a go.
Oh my god, I forgot his name already.
I forgot to too. Oh yeah, well, did you guys manage to set it up?
Yeah.
Who did it?
I think almost a lot of students. Or maybe like half.
What do you mean?
Half the students like that were on the list came.
Oh really?
Yeah. Smells on you, bro.
What happened?
Smells on you, bro.
I know, bro. What happened? Did you see the email she sent?
But yeah, she just said report to this dude. Like what? Or cook, bro.
Your weekly work schedule, updated on questions. Yeah. Oh, one of my seniors is here from high school.
What's his name?
Bori, he's somewhere back there. Oh, it's somewhere there. The one with the beige sweater, white pants.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Hey, my guy, you got like.
Oh
so many-
my God.
Oh my
Nice to
god.
meet
you. My name's Marcus. Yeah, what's up, Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh. Yeah, Ruben. I'm Brian. This
Oh, what happened?
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
fact about me, he's like, I love you. How you doing here? No, we should just pass me the title ourselves. Sorry, bro.
My fault. I think that was what I gave to Brian.
And we got the antisocial people over there, bro. I'm not gonna lie, those people did not get up.
Anti-social.
I'm antisocial. Hey, bro. Like,
No, dude. My God. I just think he's up here talking already.
Here's the trick. Pretend you're hyper. Yeah, like, just like, I'm a mark. That can be anybody you want.
Oh, okay. That's method. Sorry, man.
It's bagel, Miss Green.
Hey, you can get a new one, bro. Sorry.
That's the one Alan gave me, by the way. By the way.
Dude, bro, what? I think it's how I'm putting it. There we go. Thank you. Dude, I hope. I'll be so sad, yeah. I gotta let them know.
That's my name.
Dude, wait. What am I supposed to say? Hey, everybody. We'll be moving on to break now. Snacks, please grab them. However,
That's Logan's sister.
oh, Daisy? Yeah, I know. I know her. I don't think she knows me.
I don't think she knows me either. I've been to the house one time.
House?
Yeah, because they have a swimming pool.
Dude, I've seen I'm scrolling through reels, and I think I saw one of Logan's cooking shit.
Yeah, they have such humongous.
Oh, what?
They have a pool in their backyard. So.
Dang, that's crazy. You wanna let them know?
No.
Bro.
Thank you.
You're okay. Oh. Hey everybody, we'll be moving on to break now, so please feel free to grab snacks, drinks. Oh, you got it?
Got me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Should I? Oh, wait, bro.
Actually, yeah, it looks like
It's dying down. Yeah, I think they heard you, bro.
Wait, just let them know
Yeah.
I like 9:55. If we had everybody seated by then, so we can do meditation.
9:50.
9:55. Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. Let's take a break. We have 5 minutes, and we're going to do a meditation. If I can direct you to get some snacks, we have plenty of snacks for you. Grab a whole handful or armful of snacks. So please go to the snack and grab as many as you can. There are empty boxes underneath. Take the boxes, fill the boxes with snacks, take the box home, okay? We have 5 minutes, and we'll come back in to meditate with Dr. Dougal, Neha Dougal.
I'll ask you guys a ton of great questions. I'll ask you guys what are your career goals in the future, what do you want to do with your degree. Okay, so it's on you now.
Check, check, check. All right, Dr. Neha, if you can hear me, you can unmute and turn your video on so we can just make sure everything's working.
I can be, it depends. There's a lot of us. I can just ask the question, or if I want to really answer something, it doesn't matter.
Hi, Spencer. Can you hear me?
I really need to figure out how we're gonna give these away.
Like, if you ask me a question.
Sorry, yeah, I know we did sound checks the first time, but that was just to make sure that I could hear you on the laptop really quick because the event was just about to start. But right now, I just want to make sure your sound is good. Can you do that one more time? You can just leave your video on. Cool.
Hi,
So
Spencer.
yeah,
Can you
more,
hear me
yeah.
now?
Yes, I can hear you on our laptop. Give me just 1 sec
Sure.
here. Maybe the phone.
Get him back in, like clapping, whatever.
You want to try talking again real quick?
Hi.
Okay. I should be able to hear you through our system, but run into a little bit of an issue. Give me just
Okay. Sure.
yeah, sorry. Real sorry about that.
No
But
worries.
let me try doing this. This is why we have a little bit of a break, so it gives us some time to work it out. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Or I'm trying to use the HTML. I'm gonna mute myself for just a second. Okay, if you want to try talking again one more time.
Okay. I hope you can hear me now.
Give me a second. And one more time.
Okay.
Awesome. Yep, I can hear you in the system. We should be all good.
Great, thanks.
All right, everyone. Can I have everyone come back to the room and let's bring back to the center, and we're going to get started now. Next, I would like you guys to give a warm welcome to Dr. Nihei Dungul. Let's give her a round of applause, everyone. She's here with us on Zoom. She will be gifting us a meditation today, so I hope everyone enjoys and feels and finds their center today. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it on to Dr. Niha.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm Dr. Neha Dugal. I'm a psychologist, and I also facilitate Reiki meditations. If you're not familiar with Reiki, that's a Japanese technique to release the stress and get your chakras flowing, the blood flowing, so that whatever else we are doing, we get the clarity and able to make a more appropriate decisions that are going to be helpful to us and overall. So before we get started on the meditation, I'm going to just give you a gist of what I'm going to do. We're going to go do a little body scan to start with. All you need to do is just relax, make sure your back is straight and you're comfortable. I will lead you through a body scan, and then we'll get into a visualization. If you are open to receiving Reiki, then just in your heart, welcome the Reiki energy and say, I'm open to receiving. And you can say where you need the healing from Reiki, or Reiki, you can ask Reiki to decide for itself where the healing needs to go. If you're not open to it, that's also okay. And you can just say it in your heart that you're not welcoming Reiki energy at this time. Reiki only goes where it's free will. So it's your decision to receive or not. So go ahead and get comfortable. You're welcome to close your eyes. We're going to start with 3 deep breaths. Deep breath in. And exhale. Your inhale. Your exhale is longer than your inhale. On your next breath, take the deepest breath you've taken all day. And sigh it all out. You can just relax, and we're going to start with the body scan, starting from your toes. Just observe your toes, feet on the ground, touching the Mother Earth. Toes are part of our body we often overlook, but they play a very important role as we walk. So bringing gratitude to your toes. Attention to your feet. Help you walking and allow for a lot of the grounding. Bringing that gratitude to your feet. And bringing that focus to your ankles. To your shins. Just gratitude, no judgment, no criticism, just focus, acknowledgement, and attention to your shins. Going to your knees. Bringing that attention to your thighs and your whole legs. Just that gratitude to your legs. Bringing that attention to your lower belly. Your sacral chakra holds a lot of our childhood. We're bringing that gratitude, acknowledgement, and love towards our sacral chakra. Bringing that attention to your belly, your diaphragm, holds your daily memories and stressors. Allows us to digest what we put in, to bringing that gratitude and attention. And then extending that gratitude and attention to your fingers. Use your fingers at all times, typing, holding things, holding weights, bringing that gratitude. To your arms, triceps, your elbows, your biceps. Bringing that attention to your arms and gratitude. To your shoulders, where we hold a lot of our tension. Think about how it always gets tight. So bringing that attention, maybe even give it a roll. Bringing that gratitude to your heart. You can place your hands on your heart. Feel your heart beat. No matter what it goes through, no matter how many times it breaks, it continues to beat. Thank you to your heart. Bringing that attention and gratitude to your throat is exactly what we use for our leadership, our voice, advocating for yourself, for others, becoming the voice that others inspire to be. Just bringing that gratitude for giving you the words to make a difference. Bringing your attention to your third eye in the middle of your forehead, right in between your eyebrows. The third eye is for increasing clarity and intuition. We use that on a daily basis, every time. Just bringing that attention to that third eye and gratitude for constantly helping you make clear decisions. And now bringing that attention to your crown, your mind, your head, right above there. For all the thoughts, for all the knowledge, for all that you learn, the neurons, the neuroplasticity, all of that. Thank you for that. Now visualize yourself walking through a forest, maybe going for a favorite hike. Just walking through the trees on this beautiful day. The crunch of the leaves under your feet. Just listen to that sound. Observing the huge green trees, giving you the shade from the sun. Walking slowly, observe every step you take, every step. Slowly right and left, just walking. As you get deeper into the forest, a little breeze, a little cool down is catching, touching your face. Just enjoy this touch of the beautiful breeze, bringing the lightness despite the chaos. Walk, you notice there's a swing around, letting your inner child enjoy this swing. The breeze is going to help you swing as you just relax and sit. Just letting your inner child be the happy child. And then begin to walk with your lightness forward into the forest as you hear the sound of the water. Walking forward, crunch of the leaves, chirping of the birds. to walk further, getting closer to the waterfall. Just see this beautiful view of the majestic beings hanging around this water, being their true, authentic self. No judgment, no criticism, just being here, right now. Welcoming you to join them. Maybe besides them in the water, or maybe there's a log there where you can sit, just enjoying the view and taking 3 deep breaths. Breathing in, slowly exhale. Breathing in, exhale. Maybe these beautiful, majestic beings have a message for you. Open to receive. The message may come as a visual, as a word, as an emotion, whatever it may be, just open to receive. This message is unique and specifically for you, that follows you through your life. Sending now gratitude to these beautiful, majestic beings for welcoming you in their space. And for the message you received. Slowly walking back, gratitude to this beautiful waterfall. Maybe feel the touch and taste of the water. It's pure, it's holy. Walking by, gratitude to the chirping birds and the squirrels running around. To the trees, gratitude to the swing for allowing you to connect with that inner child. Coming back into your body, bringing that gratitude and your authentic self, just being the true you, the true leader, the true human, in the here and the now. Bringing your breath back, breathing in. Exhale. Breathing in. Exhale. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes and come back. Back, take a stretch if you need to. Reconnect with your body. Thank you, everybody. I hope the meditation was helpful for everyone.
All right. I hope everyone feels relaxed and rejuvenated, and we've all found our center again. I know we're going to change pace a little quickly here, but now I would like to bring up our ASAM students. We are going to be moving into our presentation and talk about why Asian American Studies matters and what it is. So first, I'm going to be welcoming my two co-MCs, and they will be introducing themselves as our other Asian American students come and find their seats. They're gonna sit here. We have a panel at the end of our talk. So if you are going to be on the panel, feel free to bring up a chair, set it up, get comfortable. And then you guys get to stare at these lovely students as well as we give our little talk about the major. All right, so without further ado, we're going to be jumping into what is Asian American Studies and the benefits. So hi, my name is Daisy Tao, and I am one of the MCs for this portion of the presentation.
Hello, my name is Rosario Martinez. I'm in my third year, double majoring in anthropology and ASAM, and also minoring in American Indian Studies as well, and I'm also co-MC for this portion.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Meryl. I am in my last year. I am actually double majoring. My first major is in Deaf Studies and second major is in Asian American Studies. Yeah, and I'm also co-host for this one as well.
So jumping in, we're going to be talking a little bit about what ASAM is, or what Asian American Study is. So as you can see, I have a lovely photo of us from our inaugural Asian American Studies major event that happened last fall semester with some of the students and Dr. Bond, who is the Asian American Studies coordinator. So ASAM, if you hear that term, again, that just stands for Asian American Studies. And what it is we come together and we study different Asian ethnic groups, but more specifically, their stories of immigration and how their lives have changed when trying to assimilate in the United States.
And as Daisy mentioned in the picture, the ASA major was officially launched here at Fresno State last semester, fall 2025. So that was a very big accomplishment. And for any of you who don't know, there's actually only 25 colleges in the entire nation that offer this major, with Fresno State becoming the 26th. So it was a very big accomplishment, especially here in the Central Valley.
Also, our major does offer any minor or major courses as well. They are irrelevant to our students and they get to learn more about their heritage or their background as well.
Whoops, sorry about that. Wrong way. Okay. And so now we're going to be sharing some of our honorable mentions. As students ourselves, we wanted to share a little bit more about some of the courses that are offered here on campus for all of you in the room, students. So listen carefully, okay? I know spring registration is coming up, so if you hear anything you like, make sure you take some notes. For me, myself, a class that really stood out to me was Asian American Health. And so in that course, I really got to explore specifically our Asian American communities here in the Central Valley and how their barriers to healthcare or just access to health education in general really impacts them even in their journey in higher education. So being Hmong American myself, just getting to hear those stories in a classroom was very uplifting for myself and eye-opening. So that's a class that has stayed with me and in my heart forever because it's something that as a student who also is interested in the healthcare world, I found that class very eye-opening to hear and to see health from specifically an Asian American Studies standpoint. And also Asian American Studies 140, which is the Hmong Lao Cambodian American Experiences course with Dr. Ying Xiaoxiong. I just found this course again as a Hmong American myself. I never heard my history or stories being shared outside of my personal home. So to get to hear my stories and my parents and my grandparents, their journey to America in the classroom at a university, how awesome and special is that? So I don't think enough of our students understand or even know that these classes are available to them. And it's so, again, uplifting and empowering for me, myself, to have my story being shared and analyzed in a higher education setting. So those are my two honorable mentions.
Okay, so some of my honorable mentions are ASAM 15, and that's Introduction to Asian Americans. And I actually took that class with Dr. Diol, and she's an amazing professor. But I think for many of us who do not know about a lot about the Asian American community, this course provides a solid foundation. We cover a lot of experiences, including the experiences of Chinese immigrants, Japanese immigrants, Filipino immigrants. So and it's also a GE course, so it provides a really solid foundation and introduction. And also, I also enjoyed taking ASAM 175 with Dr. Bond. That's anime, graphic novels, K-pop, and Asian cultural studies. And I especially enjoyed taking it because I have been listening to K-pop since middle school. So being able to take a class and understand the emergence of K-pop, sometimes the dark side of K-pop and how the Korean government pushed it into society and its emergence was really important. And I actually got to do a presentation about K-beauty with Daisy as well in that class. So I learned a lot. And then actually also ASAM 120, which I'm currently taking with Dr. Zhang. It's about race and ethnic relations in the US. So I really like taking this course because we really get to see the role that race plays in the experiences of Asian American communities, but not only their experiences, but the relationships that they form with other communities, including Hispanic communities as well.
I have four. One is of course ASM 175 with Professor Bond. I did the anime and K-pop. That was what introduced me to this major. So I'm really interested. I'm really happy about that. Next one is what ASM 148 Asian American film. I got to learn more about how there was the first Asian Anime Wong. So I got to learn more about her, how she was the first one to be in the film industry and everything like that, to learn more about her story. Asian 8, Asian American Health, of course, with Professor Zhang. I had him for 2 classes, so I enjoyed taking his classes, so it was really cool. Asian 190, Independent Study. I got to learn more about my cultures of being Filipino, Hawaiian, and Chinese as well. So it made me learn more about those stories.
Yeah, guys, so if you're interested in anime or K-pop, where else what other colleges offer these types of courses? So I know you're interested, so make note and make sure that for the next fall semester, you guys have an opportunity to join those classes as well. So moving forward, if it will go, it's not going. Okay. I think Thank you. Okay, and then moving on to why we feel Asian American Studies matters. So, one, it builds cultural competency and it allows students of all ethnic backgrounds to come together and really analyze and share the stories of Asian Americans because we live in the Central Valley with so many different ethnic groups and so many different stories of immigration. So, why not come together and build those cross community ties together?
Secondly, ASAM also helps centers our local stories, as Daisy mentioned. A lot of the experiences of Asian Americans gets excluded from our educational curriculums. So it really, through the major, really helps shed light and give spotlight to these untold stories that are very important to us.
And number three, it creates belonging and empowerment. So in many classes, we do create MOI, we create friendships with one another. And every time we see each other, we just say hi and just talk to each other. So I think that's what makes us all bond together.
And it cultivates leadership and advocacy, like all of you students here today who came and joined us on an early Saturday morning. Thank you. You are the top 6%, as Dr. Bond says, and we do get to be in this space together. So I want you guys to give yourselves a round of applause for being here and stepping into your leadership. So, yeah, great job, guys.
And then it is also rooted in resistance and community power. As through this conference, this is a community event. We have community members here present. So through ASAM, we get to form that collaboration with our community members. And it's also rooted in resistance at a times with ethnic studies is currently under attack. I think it really shows that the resilience and resistance that we can show.
And then we're going to be moving on to how Asian American Studies has impacted ourselves in our college journeys really quickly. So for myself, as I said, being an Asian American Studies major, that wasn't always my plan. I didn't come into college thinking, ooh, ASAM. I didn't even know what ASAM was until I took Intro to Asian American Studies because I had to, right? It's a GE. So after that, I've been hooked and I've been taking courses throughout my college education. But even though I think I understand my own story and my parents, their story of coming to the United States after the Secret War, after taking ASAM courses, it reframed my perspective and reminded me of how much I don't know and how much I have seen through a particular lens, and it has helped me to broaden my perspective, which has been very nice. So now I feel like I can connect to my community on a deeper level. And also it has allowed me to advocate for my community and specifically Southeast Asian students. Again, being Hmong American myself and second generation, I find a lot of pride and joy being in rooms with students who might identify as Hmong as well, or just Asian, or just being here in higher education with you all. And so this opportunity has allowed me to, again, connect with students like today through this conference.
And for me personally, it has helped me to develop skills to better serve our communities here in the Central Valley. As we have repeatedly mentioned, I think many of us are aware of how underserved our communities are. Many students here at Fresno State were born and raised here in the Valley, so we know the lack of resources or the struggles that our community members face to access healthcare sources, transportation, proper housing. So through the major, I've been able to really ground myself in having cultural competency, because really understanding the background of each of our community members and how that really affects their experiences here in the Valley has been very good for me through the major. And it has also allowed me to directly connect with community members, including our youth and elders, so giving presentations like these. And as our keynote speaker mentioned earlier, our elders are very important because through their decisions, we are able to be in spaces like these today. So, and I actually, through the major, I do a lot of community work, volunteer service, and I'm very passionate about that. And I actually get to volunteer at a nonprofit that focuses specifically on serving Southeast Asian youth. And as a non-Asian individual, as a Mexican American, it really helps me understand their experiences, how their culture impacts them, and helps break those cultural barriers that may exist. So the ASAM major has really helped me grow as a student, but also as an individual.
So for me, I like to, when I was about to speak the untold stories and to be recognized as Filipino American, I came from Delano. Farm workers are not well known, the Filipino farm workers or Larry Italong. So when I got to learn more about his stories and everyone else from there, it made me want to speak out and be an advocate for that. Number two, made me embrace all my roots. Made me connect who I am as a person, make more friends as well.
Okay, I just checked the time, and I think we have enough time. And I want everyone to stand up and participate in this fun activity. So everyone stand up. I'm going to I need everyone in a horizontal line. So if I can have everyone just come line up in front of this podium all the way down, and we're gonna give you guys some instructions to participate. Let's get that blood moving, guys. Come on, let's go. Okay, so if everyone can stand in a straight line, I wanna see everyone just down the row over here, just spread out. Feel free to spread out. You will still be able to participate even if you're on this side of the room. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, so everyone get in a line. And then if you guys can, face the back of the room, not towards the screens. Well, all right, everyone. So this activity, I'm going to narrate it for you guys. It's called Step Forward. So together, Rosario, Meryl, and I, we have come together to create this reflective activity for everyone, okay? So what you guys will be doing, I want you guys to close your eyes, and you guys are going to hear a set of statements from the three of us, and I want you guys to reflect on the statement. And this is though it's like a group activity we're doing, this is purely for your individual reflection. So everyone's going to have their eyes closed. You're going to hear the statement, and it's up to you to participate. If you feel like you do not want to participate in a certain statement, that's okay. You don't have to move forward. But if you hear a statement and it resonates with you or you agree with the statement, please feel free to take one step forward, okay? And I want everyone I'm gonna, in between each statement, everyone's gonna have a second to really think about it, and then we'll move on to the next. So does that make sense? Any questions? Are we good? Okay, so we're going to just have everyone close their eyes and reflect, almost meditative again, but we're going to be standing up. So with the first question here, please step forward if you grew up translating or helping your family navigate systems. And keep your eyes closed throughout the remainder, okay?
Please step forward if you are a first-generation college student.
Please step forward if you've ever been mistaken for someone else because of how you look.
Step forward if you felt pressured to choose a stable or respectable career path.
Please step forward if you've ever been asked, "Where are you really from?"
Please step forward if you ever hidden your struggles because you felt like you were supposed to succeed academically.
Just a PSA, let's take baby steps. Be careful. You might be approaching tables or other beings. Step forward if you've ever felt like you had to represent your entire community.
Please step forward if your family's migration, immigration, displacement, or survival story shapes who you are today.
Please step forward if you ever doubted whether you belong in higher education.
Again, just be mindful of your surroundings as you step forward, but step forward if you've ever felt tension between generations in your family.
Please step forward if you felt empowered by being in a space centered on your identity or community.
Please step forward if you ever advocate for your community on campus or in your neighborhood.
Please step forward if you believe your presence in higher education carries meaning beyond just a degree.
Please step forward if you are proud of where you come from.
Please step forward if you are ready to lead in your own way.
All right, I invite you all to open your eyes and to silently look around the room and to see how everyone's stories vary. I know it got a little hectic around here, around the corner. I wish we had a space that was large enough so we can all just spread out, but I would like you guys to reflect on how far each and everyone has came. And I want you all to see how everyone's story is different, and that's okay. And we're here in this space to support one another. So please give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for participating in our activity. I'm going to invite everyone to have a seat again, and we're going to move on to our student panel. Thank you so much for participating, guys. Okay, we have to get online. Okay, I'll get the mic. All right. Thank you all again for participating in that activity. How was that for everyone? It was okay? It was good? Okay. So next we are going to be moving on to our student panel. Again, we have our students here, and including the three of us, we're going to have them introduce themselves. We'll start with Palak.
Hi everyone, my name is Palak. I'm a second year biochemistry major as well as an ASAM major.
Hello everyone, my name is Natalie. I am a third year majoring in pre-nursing and double majoring Asian American Studies.
Hello everyone, I am Fabiola. I am an MCJ major, but I'm also majoring in Asian American Studies.
Hi everyone, my name is Allison Vang. I'm double majoring in psychology and Asian American Studies, and I'm a fourth year.
Hello, my name is Evan, and I am a Deaf Studies Interpreting and Asian American Studies major.
All right, so how this is going to work. Who's ready to participate? Anyone? Anyone have questions? Or do we need to motivate you guys with gifts? Anyone want free stuff? Woo! No one? Okay, I'm gonna take it back. Okay. So we do have some fun ASAM goodies for whoever wants to ask questions. So if you do have questions, now's the time to ask. Please raise your hand if you would like to, ask the entire panel a question, or if you want to ask an individual student, that's fine too. But any takers? Anyone first? Let me bring you a mic so you can. Sorry, I'm slow right now.
Okay, I actually have a question for Allison because I heard psych and Asian American Studies. I am also currently double majoring in psych and Asian American Studies, and I really wonder, how do you balance that life between the work that you have to do for your Asian American Studies classes, your work in psychology, and how you synthesize both of those?
I think it really depends on what you want to do. Ultimately, you get to choose how involved you are within both majors. I think that myself, I heavily involve myself within the ASAM major. I think that when it comes to psychology, I'm pretty much done with it, and so I feel like right now I'm focusing more on the ASAM major. I think that if you are wanting to go into working with Southeast Asian communities. If you're going to be here in the Central Valley, which is what I'm going to be doing, then it's making that connection for yourself and being able to network with like Professor Bond I've been networking with, and just talking about grad school with her. And so she's been helping me navigate that process. And so I think that it's really useful to use as a motivation to figure out what exactly you want to do, if that's what you choose to do. But yeah, I think that if you choose to involve yourself as much as you want to, then you'll find a connection however way that you can.
Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
For the only gentleman on the panel, what was your motivation to pursue what you're pursuing?
For my Asian American or just for both majors?
No, for both.
Yeah, so in high school, they first offered the ASL program, and I originally took it because I thought it would be easier than Spanish. No lie there, because I originally wanted to be a chef, but then towards the end of my third year, I was realizing that that was probably not my end goal, because I'm kind of more of a down-to-earth, chill person, and I feel like when you're cooking and in the kitchen, it's going to be very chaotic. And so I had always known that interpreting was going to be an option, and so I looked into it, and I was already very interested in ASL, and I had seen that there was a program here at Fresno State, and so it kind of just, all the cards fell into place, and I decided to major in that. And as far as Asian American Studies goes, I took Intro to Asian American Studies with Professor, I don't want to say this wrong, I think it's Chandara, yeah. And so that really kind of just opened my mind to the different possibilities of what I could learn, because I grew up Japanese American, but much of my family didn't really talk much about that history besides the like yearly family reunions that we would go to. And so I feel like that course really just allowed me to kind of see like the whole world and how little I had actually learned. And so she inspired me to take the minor, so I know she's not here, but shout out to her. And then I had taken ASAM 148 with Dr. Bond, and so I feel like through that class specifically, I was able to form a strong connection with her, because funnily enough, I wasn't enrolled initially, and so I kept on having to check with her every single week until I was enrolled. So, but I feel like because of that, we were able to form a strong connection, and then it was because of that that I was able to work under her, and then she inspired me to get the double major, and yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody can answer this. I just want to ask, with how recent the ASAM major is, and I'm personally getting interested because I stumbled upon it by accident, but what if I wanted to introduce this to somebody else? Any classes that you guys personally recommend, or communities, or different places?
I also just want to mention ASIAM 151W, which is Asian Eats. I feel like when wanting to introduce individuals to the Asian major, yeah, you can mention like Asian American health and the Hmong Lao and Cambodian experiences, and a lot of those courses that are really integral to learning about the different Asian American experiences. However, to really hook someone, you have to like interest them, of course. And so I feel like ASIAN 151 is really intriguing because you get to learn about the history of a plethora of Asian dishes and cuisines, and you also get to just experience a lot of what cultures have to offer. And so I feel like it's a very interesting course to take.
We have a hand over here. Right. Or we'll go, yeah, we'll work our way over.
This is to anybody. Was it worth it doing everything until now?
I feel like it is worth it. For me, after I took Dr. Zhang's ASAM 140, I realized there's not a lot about information about Cambodian Americans. Since I am a Cambodian American, I fairly know a lot about my parents. My parents are refugees from Thailand. They were in the camps. And I never really grew up to know my grandpas, and obviously my grandmas are passed away already, but I feel like with all these new information, especially, not a lot of people know about Cambodians as well, but as a Southeast Asian person, you know, I don't see a lot of representation of Cambodians. And I think learning more about Asian Americans, or even any Asian American history, I feel like it helps you more understand more of like what we've been through. I mean, I'm pretty sure, sorry, I'm a bit nervous. But yeah, it is worth it. I am currently finishing my ASAM major. I'm taking Asian American Family and Marriage and ASAM 151W.
I would like to build off of what Natalie was saying. Thank you, Natalie, for sharing. And I think I connect a lot with Natalie, being a Southeast Asian student myself, Southeast Asian woman. I think not enough of our stories, even though we feel like our stories are out there, I think we're so blessed to be in the Central Valley where we have like so many communities, so many people of our communities here, and so we can find those easily. But I know many students and friends who are at UCLA or UC Berkeley or in the Midwest who are like, you have that? Like, that's so cool. We don't, I can barely find a Hmong person on campus. I'm like, sorry, you should have came to Fresno State, but just kidding. But also, I would like to go back to the question and say, I think it's 1000% worth it. If I can go back and really understand the major, and if I were to see where I was at today, I would do it again and again and again and again. And I say that not just because I'm an ASAM major, but I've seen how it has connected me to the broader community campus and with our faculty on campus. And I think that's very special because I know being previously like a pre-health, public health major, I never got that chance to really connect with faculty unless I was in their labs or unless I was, you know, seeking their help, which is always good, but you know, there's not that much room to just personally be like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, are you going to this community event this weekend? Like, what do you think about this issue? But again, and I like to tell students all the time, I feel like ASAM classes are so fun. It's not even like you're going to class. Like, you get to go and talk about important topics that are relevant to you and your community. So why not? Why not just go for an hour or two and talk with your faculty and students on campus about important issues, especially during times where, again, like DEI is under attack in ethnic studies. So I would do it, and I think it's 100% worth it and 100% doable if you are passionate enough and you enjoy the work. Any others? Takers? Okay.
Sorry.
Let's work our way this way. I see hands, so we'll just keep passing the mic. Thank you so much, guys.
So the question's kind of for everybody up there. What like career fields are you guys going into with this degree, just so we can get an idea of what like the options kind of are for the major? Yeah.
Honestly, with me, 'cause I'm in dev studies, so maybe with teacher, of course, I will be getting 2 certificates with my Asian American studies, so I can also teach Asian American studies as well if I want to. So that's pretty awesome for me.
Personally, my career goals are still up in the air, but as an anthro major, I think through the major, this major especially, I think I really found my passion and my niche for social work, community service, helping students succeed in conferences like these. So I think I would have not been able to get those opportunities or that knowledge or that, as I mentioned, that cultural competency without this major. So I highly recommend it. There's no drawbacks, only benefits.
For me, like I said, I have dabbled my feet into public health. I want to be a nurse, and I'm going to pursue nursing school outside of Fresno State. And I've always been interested in the health field and, again, our Southeast Asian community. But yeah, I think ASAM just goes in and enhances that. But if I weren't going to be a nurse, I would most definitely go back and be a counselor, a high school counselor, and again, advocate, like I said, for our Southeast Asian students. I have a passion for that, and I never knew I had a passion for helping students until I was an ASAM major. So yeah, that's mine.
Yeah. I wanted to add that I am pre-med, so my first major is biochemistry. I wanted to go to medical school, and through taking AGM 175 with Professor Bond, I learned that healthcare is not just healthcare. There's so much more beyond that. And like Daisy had said, we're blessed to be in an area where we're surrounded by so many different minorities. And it's important to be able to understand where a patient is coming from historically, culturally, and just their background in general. So if you do want to be an effective provider, you have to be able to understand where a patient is coming from to provide them the best care. So AGM goes beyond like textbook applications.
What was the question again? I'm sorry, I'm like backtracking.
What career field do you want to go into with the Asian American degree? What career field do you want to go into, basically? Yeah.
Basically, right now I'm pre-nursing, but I'm also debating if I should do public health, and especially with the Southeast Asian community or any Asian community, it's very hard for people to talk about their mental health. And so I want to be there and help them talk about, you know, their issues, help them heal, and especially my community being, having the younger kids think about there's other different ways to settle, like being in a gang or whatnot. Like that's I do not want that for them. I want them to get a better education, have a better future for them.
For me, as an MCJ major as well, I think that it's really important to also consider how the media plays out into Asian American narratives. I specifically feel like it's very important for me to collaborate with Asian American people to really capture the stories and make sure that they're being told properly. So I definitely want to go into media, film. As an independent filmmaker, definitely working with others to ensure that the narratives are being properly told and we're not being told things that aren't, you know, stereotypes and all of that we know are happening. So I want to make sure that it gets better for the media as well.
For me, I'm going to be going to grad school after this semester to get my PhD in clinical psychology. And so that entails a lot of research. I think that by doing research with Dr. Bond, she really inspired me to look into whether or not there's a lot of clinical psychological research within the Hmong community. And so when I did look into that, I realized that there wasn't. And so that's where I want to center my research in.
So I'm going to call out Meryl also because we're both in the Deaf Studies department, because we both have the privilege in supporting, advocating, and serving multiple minority groups, being the Asian American community and the deaf community. And I feel like with learning about all of the different experiences and how the community has been faced with racism and discrimination, it's been really eye-opening for me. And as far as interpreting goes, I plan on becoming an educational interpreter once I graduate, along with doing freelance interpreting. And to go specifically with freelance interpreting, it's typically under an agency, and they will send you jobs that they think that you are well suited for, and they will often know the client as well as their background. And so with knowing, with the certificates that I will get from the major, as well as the information that I have with Asian American Studies, I will be better placed and better suited to interpret for Asian American deaf individuals, because as interpreters, we need to understand that they are also people, and we go into many different spaces throughout their lives that are very personal, and so it's already hard enough to allow a total stranger to come in there and facilitate communication. So by having that deeper connection with them and understanding what they've been through, I'm able to better provide not only my interpretive services, but show them that they're not alone.
If there was a way to introduce cultural awareness and ASOM to the youths, how would you guys go about it?
I think one way is to obviously invite your family and friends on campus. We host so many fun events. I know sometimes it's always like, oh, college students, but I know that we've held some Asian American events on campus where we try to invite your families and community out. I know last April, I believe it was April, we had the first Hmong Heritage Education Day, and obviously you don't have to be of Hmong ethnic background to come and join us, but it was a full day where we even had little preschoolers come and walk on campus so that they're familiar with their university and their hometown, and they got to see what their older siblings or aunties or uncles or cousins were doing here on campus. So I'd just say try to look out for some fun events that could be geared to like communal and family, because I know we do try to host those and invite our broader community out. Anyone else?
I work here on campus. We do host a lot of stuff for our students to invite their family and friends into to know more about their heritage or know more about that. We did Journey to Success. We do a lot of events for our students to know more, or for the younger students to know more about that as well. We had middle schools come out, we had high schools, and it helps them to learn more about their heritage and other races to know about that heritage as well.
Anyone else? You guys want to? Okay. Thank you for your question. We have time for, I want to say two or three more questions. Anyone else? Raise your hand. Okay.
Hi, is this on? Okay, so I want to be a future educator, and I want you to think back to your lower level education days, like elementary or high school. Did you feel like your culture was being celebrated? And if not, what do you think future educators can do better to help you feel more welcome in the classroom?
Wow. I don't think it was celebrated enough because I come from a small town in Delano. No one knew about the Filipino farm workers. Everyone was celebrating Cesar Chavez when his movie came out. It was like, oh, it was more about him, but it was more of like, if you read the story, it was more of Larry Italong who had started the Filipino farm workers. I don't think we ever learned about how he started it or why he started it. We just learned more about Cesar Chavez than any of my race of the Filipino farm workers. I don't think it was really celebrated that much in high school, so I felt like I didn't know who I was at all. If we do, I think it'll be more nicer to include all the races, because generations of all of our races started way before anyone else. And I think it would be nicer for the high schoolers, for the elementary schools to learn more about their culture as well, not to be shunned down upon that.
And I think just to add on to what Meryl said, and to answer that second part of your question, what can future educators do to, combat that feeling that Meryl had, and I know I had, and maybe many of our panelists had growing up. But I think it starts with, again, the ASAM major. There's certificates. You don't have to major. There's a minor, less units you have to take. Again, you gain, like Meryl said earlier, you get different certificates that help show that you've taken the courses to provide that cultural competencies. So I think it's important, even if you don't want to major and you feel like, oh, it might be too much on my workload already, you can always minor or get a second major, or again, certificates that show, hey, I do have some knowledge in Asian American studies and their histories, and I can apply this to the classroom. And as Dr. Bond says, it can strengthen your application or your job interview. So yeah, that's one way I feel like. Anyone else?
In my high school, we didn't really know about Cambodians. I mean, yes, I'm glad that they brought in, you know, Hmong stories and all that, but as Cambodian American, like I said, I hope now, because I know the law just passed that they are teaching Hmong, Cambodian, and is it Vietnamese? I think it's Vietnamese. And I'm glad to say that, especially with this Asian American program, you don't have to take all the classes if you just want to come in. But I think it is a great learning opportunity. You get to learn about all Filipinos, Chinese, Vietnamese, and all that. It's really great for if you want to be a teacher and go into middle school, elementary school, and high school.
Any other questions from the audience that you guys might want to ask? I see a hand over here. We'll do one more question, so you'll be our last question. Rosario's coming with the mic.
So you mentioned community service earlier. I was just wondering what kind of community service opportunities you were presented with.
That's a really good question. I think the community service opportunities I had, it's a combination of I had to find them myself and they came to me. So I remember it was the week of celebrating Asian Americans and Pacific Islander Week on campus, and there was a lot of booths just like straight up. And then I just was interested and I went to each booth, and in one booth I signed up and they asked me, do you speak Spanish? And I was like, yes, I do. But I was like, I just want the freebies. And then, yes. And then I was on campus doing homework and I got a call from an unknown number. I was not going to answer, but I was like, oh, I think I should answer. And they called me and they're like, oh, are you Ms. Rosario? And I was like, yes. They're like, are you available to volunteer at our food distribution and translate for us? And I've been there for 2 years now. So it was me stepping up, but also them contacting me. So, and I know here on campus here in the Resnick Center, upstairs, they help you find like community service specifically in your areas that you're interested with. So that's a really good resource. And I will research more about it and let you know. Yeah, thank you.
I just want to add, like, I ran into Miss Rosario at the food distribution because I was donating Hmong clothes for a Hmong clothing drive. And it's so special because I'm like, oh, I see a fellow ASAM like major, but also like, how cool is it to see not just that, but a student of a different ethnic background who is helping at, so the organization's a Hopeful Encounter, and I've always known it to only be like, oh, a Hmong organization, but when I saw Miss Rosario, I was like, how cool is it that she gets to come and help with the food distribution? So I just wanted to shout out Miss Rosario for that.
Oh no, thank you.
Anyone else want to speak on volunteering?
I think if you're looking into wanting to volunteer, we also have an organization called the Richter Center. I'm an ambassador for the Richter Center, and so what we do is that we have a lot of connections to the community organizations within Fresno, and I think some in Clovis. And so if you ever want to look into more volunteering stuff, you can always go up there. I think they're in the USU 3rd floor. You'll find them. Walk around, you'll find them. But if you're ever interested in finding more opportunities, they definitely can help connect you to whatever you're looking for. So if you are looking into volunteering, and that goes for anyone else too, if you need it for like a class, they also help students connect for like service learning, which I know that some people do those courses. So if you're ever looking into that, visit the Richter Center.
Thank you, Allison, for sharing that. All right, so with that, it's going to conclude our student panel. So I want to thank the audience again for stepping up and sharing your questions with us. Thank you guys so much for participating. And thank you to our amazing panelists. Let's give them a round of applause. We all hope that you guys learned a little bit more about the ASM major and the benefits and why you should major, minor, or get a certificate in one of our amazing ASAM fields. So thank you all for listening and participating with us today. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
guys walked up, I was like, oh, they're not gonna know. Watch you guys.
Yeah, take your chairs back. All right, everyone. I hope you guys are hanging in there. I know you guys heard us speak for a long time, but now we will be moving on to our next keynote speaker. Can everyone please give a warm welcome and round of applause for Dr. Vina Howard?
Okay. All right. Hello. Good morning. How are you guys doing today? So I'm Vina Howard. I'm a professor and chair in the Department of Philosophy. I focus on religious studies. I see some of my students, yay. I send them emails. I said, please do come. There is a good butter chicken. I'm vegetarian, but I argue for you guys. That's good. So I am here this morning just in awe what you guys are. Leadership is you embody. I could not speak like this when I was your age. So it's really, really cool to see students who are so smart. Before we begin, I want to thank Professor Ban. Please give a big round of applause. Professor Tony also, and Yang. Sorry, I didn't mean to call professor. See, I get nervous too. I just mixed up all those. Everybody's a teacher. So what I have done today, so I teach Asian religions. I teach Assam and Philosophy 108, Jain, Hindu, and Asian religions of India. So all over, not just India, I teach Hmong traditions. I teach, I teach myself to teach others. So I think his professor should be just a student who is learning and learning from students as well. And I tell my students, if the day I will quit learning from you, I'll quit teaching because you are great teachers to me. I'm also the director of Gandhi Center and endowed chair in Jain and Hindu Dharma that we established a chair. So I begin with Namaste. Everybody knows Namaste? So I really bow down to you, divinity in you, because you all are sparks of divinity. So we begin with Namaste, and then we go into my background. I'm becoming vulnerable today. I don't share my stories. I never spoke at a student leadership conference. I always do at adult ones. So I think it's my chance to really think through my childhood, my youth, my college years, how I struggled so much to be here, and just to tell you, you are way ahead than when I was at your age, way ahead. So you all are going to be great leaders. I have no doubt about that. So I was raised, I had 7 siblings, and I'm 6th in the ladder, so lower part. And my younger brother always said I was the youngest of all. So 6th child and the 3rd girl. And if you know South Asian traditions, you already have 2 daughters, now the 3rd one is born. So it's not as special in some ways because you have already, the girls are great, but now, dowry and, arranged marriages, all that, traditional families have issues. Raised in traditional family, girls are supposed to have a good domestic life. My mom said, go get higher education, master's, because you can be a good mom. And so it was more into not having a career, but more into how to be educated human being and citizen. I studied in all-girls schools, and I wasn't allowed to go to co-ed education because the boys were there. So science was only in co-education. What we see is co-education. Very probably you don't even know. Only girls' schools generally. So even college, I went to all-girls schools, and I wore uniform in college. So if that, was much easier. You don't have to worry about wardrobes. You just wear the same clothes every day. Also, the girls were really taught to practice virtues of patience, softness, gentle voice, and demure conduct. Just very, somebody, very what? Very, very demure. So just you see that you are constantly really trying to be a good girl. I just wanted to share with you a couple of matrimonial ads. Nowadays, people go for dating sites, right? I don't even know, Tinder. I haven't looked at any dating site, I promise. I'm married for a long time. What else the dating sites are? Whatever, I'm not going to ask you guys. So, but here was matrimonial ads, what kind of girl or man one wants. The parents put matrimonial ads. So I want to just read one. And these are all 90s when I was growing up. Wanted good-looking, educated, homely girl. So that was one of the headlines, good-looking, homely girl. What is a homely girl? Stay home, knows how to make home. She is keeps the house very good. Does good cooking, Indian food cooking. And then when you say, this was a backlash of this, the next ad, let's read it together. She says, match for opinionated feminist, 30-plus educated girls, short hair, piercings, work in social sector, against capitalism, wanted handsome, well-built, 20-year-old only son with estimated business bungalow, 20 acres. So she just takes it all, turns it upside down, and she go, okay, how about this? So I think I was raised with all these very interesting, conflicting ideas and what is meant to be in this world, because I was the youngest, so or the second youngest rather, I had this more freedom to think about career, education, even though my older siblings didn't have. All are arranged marriage in India. All are happily married forever, happily, whatever. So my journey from small town in India to the United States. Not going to give you how I came. It was not a normal way. It just happens, stroke of luck, destiny, whatever we call it, I'm here. And what happens when I'm here, when I go to school, the co-education classroom system, there are guys, oh my gosh, there are young men who are in the classroom sitting next to me. Whoa, that's scandalous, right? No. So lectures and discussions, no, just professors used to just come in classroom and give a lecture and leave. And no discussions. We don't ask questions. So it took me a long time to raise my hand. I used to go like this. So think about that. Imagine long research papers, no 3-hour exams, independence, and holy cow. So holy cow was, when I came to South Carolina, somebody said in astonishment, holy cow. I said, my goodness, they also believe in holy cow like Hindus do. So I really felt that I am at home, but I didn't know that holy cow was a meal too. So it wasn't that just you do holy, it was the expression. So all these, you can imagine, I had such a culture shock that I can do anything I want. Here we're an extended family, we live together I can go out at 10 o'clock in the evening if I wanted to. We never ever experienced that in a traditional family. So the challenges come with that always, right? And you don't know how to navigate this world. So challenge were English as a second language. No matter how much I was quite smart in India. I did always aced every exam I took. I always made very good grades. People call me bookworm. You know what bookworm is? Always sit in the books. That's what I did. So I was quite smart, but the English, when I read Aristotle, when I read Plato, and if I read Heidegger in philosophy class, I was, ooh, I don't understand these people. I have no clue. But then I studied all night long to figure it out. First generation college going student, difference in food and attire. I was used to, now you guys can get butter chicken or all that. That time it was one time they given me just a baked potato because I was vegetarian. I didn't know what to do with that baked potato. How do you eat that baked potato? You don't eat baked potatoes like that. You put curry on it, you put sauce on it. And it was shocking to have, because imagine over 30 years ago in South Carolina, there was not much vegetarian food. Now the world has changed. Homesick. I was quite homesick, raised with so many people, so many friends, so many family, siblings, and now there was no one there. And lack of cultural understanding. We talked about that. How much people don't know who you are. People made guesses and sometimes misunderstanding of the culture. Accent was different. And in South Carolina, sometime I'll answer the phone, I will not know what's happening. And just couldn't understand. Southern accent is very thick, and my accent is so different. And so now we are just collided. So it's quite interesting to see all those challenges that I experienced. And the misunderstanding of Hinduism, people call it 3 C's. Cow. If somebody tell you you're Indian, you're from South, oh, why do you worship cows? That's the question. It's like, no, it's not about cows, Hinduism. And then they talk about curry. Oh, I love curry. That's the second one. And the third one is, oh, how is the caste system in Hinduism or India? So inevitably, that 3 C's without thinking about the depth and breadth of a tradition. And I never thought about those 3 C's growing up in India. We never talked about those. We had such a more dynamic tradition. So now I'm going to take into how, as a woman, coming to this graduate school in the US, how I had to reshape my identity, rethink who I am, and really take the tradition as a strength. Asian traditions, some people just totally go into the Western culture. Of course, we live in the West. We always are taking and giving and growing up, but how can I really make my own experiences into assets? And that's what I'm going to focus on the next few minutes. So this is a study scheme, Psychological Dilemma of Indian Women. And the ideal Indian housewife is a perfect example of Indian womanhood. She is someone who works toward the satisfaction of multiple individual souls, as well as the family as a unit. She works tirelessly and basks in the glory of the success of those she works for. Not her own success, but she were children, husband, cousins, brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws. She always gives selflessly. So I come from that context. And how somebody asked me first time, oh, what do you think about this? And I said, what do I think about that? Does my opinion matter? Because we always think about what my dad will say, what my mom will say, what my uncle will say, what the neighbor will say. We never thought about just me. So, but can we make this? Because my mother was very, very strong, very independent, very strong. She had a 5th grade education, but she was extremely strong. So what can we learn from, even though, yes, they are serving others, can we take from that service something that we can make into an asset and a strength? So at that time, now we see so many Asian American students, so many Asians, but that time there was a very less Asian Americans. I was kind of a token Indian many times, or token South Asian, all things South Asia. I'll represent Buddhism, I'll represent Hinduism, I'll represent Jainism, everything India, Veena will do it. Any communities I live. I was most of the time the only person of color. I was in Oregon, I was in South Carolina, I was in Colorado, different places, only Indian many, many times. You probably can't guess now, but the journey has been long and arduous. But I was really interested in getting a career, getting a PhD, since I was maybe 7 years old. I used to write Veena Rani, MA, PhD, gold medalist. You know what gold medalist is? In India, you ace the whole university. You get gold medals. Here's a presidential medal. There is a grade-based medal. So that's what, I don't know why they come from. My parents was just going, where did she come from? Why does she so interested in education? So my life just comes to be from that aspiration, that desire, then builds the rest of my career, what happens. So what I said, all the hard work, I was working all night in the dorms, all day I will study, but I was happy because I was going toward my dream. It's good. So what a university education in America. My goodness, it's so many opportunities that you have here. You can never imagine in India at that time, in 90s. No, you can't. So how do we say? Meet new people, different cultures, different traditions, make my own career path, become independent, fulfill my dream. So what if I worked 70 hours a week? So what if I work 80 hours a week? Because that was I wanted. No one was pressuring me to do this. I wanted to fulfill my dream. So there is another study, why are Indian women interested in studying in the US? The rising interest, this is now all recent, not back then. I was the only girl from my whole hometown, went to the whole clan, or maybe whole millions of people who could go alone out of the country. Either they go after marriage or some kind of family, but not alone. It doesn't happen very often. The rising interest among Indian women in studying in the US is a positive indication of changing global education dynamics. So it's all changing now. Back then, it was not possible. So my journey has been topsy-turvy. Like that. Lot of dizzying things. But it has been one of lot of joy, lot of challenges, and the reason I'm sharing with you that I know all in this room are going through their own topsy-turvy lives. And so how can we make that into an asset? So the path in a new country or new culture is not easy. As we know, there's no family support. So I used to study for my exams. My mom will make a tea for me, chai, and give it to me, said, you're studying. Or food. Here, if I'm hungry, I'll go get my own food, right? So that was not family support available. Navigating educational trajectory is difficult because people told me when I was doing my master's in philosophy, oh no, you're not going to get a job. No jobs in philosophy, especially with a person who is English is their second language. It's not that I learned English really speaking when at the age mid-20s. So how are you going to teach this to people when it's your second language? Change your career. They said be computer science because a lot of Indian girls were computer science that time. Try to find balance between passion for a field and practical needs, like we were talking about. What do you do with a career with Assam? You can do it. I know you will find whatever you want to do. And inspiration from my mother, who was very, very strong. Should I go very, very fast, Dr. Brown? Or I'm doing okay? Okay. So my accomplishments. So I have 2 master's degrees here in America. PhD, author, edited 4 books, over 30 articles, and established the M.K. Gandhi Center, thanks to Jenny Bantu for their support as well. And we, friends from different religions, ethnicity, nationalities, look around and continue, raised my family in a multicultural household, represented Hinduism and other South Asian traditions in various forums. This is a little snapshot. CV is maybe 15-page long. So lessons learned. So quickly, what lessons I have learned and what can I share with you? Because you all are wonderful students. If you can teach a little bit learn a little bit from my journey, that would be very helpful. Leadership through Asian wisdom. Finding the inner power to lead. Sometimes we don't have resources outside. So we need to find resources inside. So Goddess Durga, I was raised with the 8-armed goddess. And you know how you guys all feel like multitasking? And that's what Goddess Durga was doing with 8 arms. You know, I was raising a child, and I was going to school, I was cleaning the house. Oh yeah, we can do this, right? I mean, now they're showing that not a good thing to do multitasking. But we can talk to Goddess Durga about it, is it or not? Because she has all these arms. Devi Durga, this article, multitasking and women's realities. That's not going to go away because the way we are, we constantly have to multitask in order to be here. Like right now, even I have a talk coming up, I have teaching, I have exam to give, house to be cleaned, so constant multitasking. Lesson learned, mobilize your soft power, resilience, kindness, communication, negotiation, flexibility, pivoting. Sorry, go back. So you have to all have all these. You have to flexible, need to go pivot to, we can't be just in the set parameters. And it doesn't mean that we don't have a clear goal, but there are time demands, opportunities come. Sometimes we have to pivot and do something different way. Lesson learned, focus on the positive, make the best of the opportunities. There will be challenges, it's up to us. End of the night when you reflect, just focus on positive. And that really, really helps me. The strength of immigrant students, an asset-based approach to newcomer students, emphasizing what they have, not what they lack. That's very, very important. This is Harvard studies came out in April 24. Go to the library. Not just to have coffee, please. Please, 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 go talk to those books. They're lonely and sad. And the way we have locked them up is more sad. Because I can't open them, they smell, they can't just, I want to have them breathe. You don't know how hard it was to get a book for me. I cried when I saw a library in America. It is so beautiful libraries, not just the coffee shop near the coffee thing near the Starbucks. That's fine, go for it for a little bit. Go talk to the books. You will not find this opportunity anywhere in the world. We had to beg for books to get books. So please, please, please make friend of the library. Again, lessons learned, make difference your asset. Whatever different we are from one another, it is an asset. I'm alone in the room, yes, bring it on. I'm alone in the room because I have something to teach and I have something to share and something to learn. About 30%, 31% US population is currently African American or Hispanic and Latino American, yet less than 10% of the leaders of the largest American companies are non-white. Why is that? Because people are afraid of difference. But we can show them with our talents that we can sit on the table with the board with our talents. The 2-century history of the US Senate, only 26 senators were non-white. Indeed, according to the New York Times, only 44 of the 53 most powerful people in American culture, government, education, business are minorities. So we see there's so much talent in this room, and we have so much places to go to and make a difference. So more lessons learned. In California's greatest asset, it's diversity. And that's what we need to really, no matter what laws are made or what they are changing here and what they are changing, like Daisy was saying, we need to step up, right? Laws will come and go because we can't depend on them. We can depend on our own strength and community strength in helping one another. Lessons learned. So I teach Asian religions. I love Taoism. So Taoism says, if you should learn that word, like Tony was teaching, Wu Wei, say Wu Wei. Wu Wei all the way, no. Wu Wei meaning action in action, just be like water. Be like water, strong, supple, nourishing. So Wu Wei, that's the term, I love it. Dharma, that's another term you should learn, Indian term called dharma. Dharma means duty, virtue, strength, law, sustaining. Look at around you, everybody's sustaining in this room. So gently and beautifully are listening. That's called doing your dharma, doing your duty. When I had this desire to go to school, to study higher education, it was my inner
inner propelling that I want to do this. Not somebody's making you to do it, but you want to do it. Speak up. Of practice Satya Ahimsa, truth and nonviolence, what Gandhi called it, in daily life. Why women need to speak up and own their voice in corporate world. I remember sitting on tables and not saying anything because I was too afraid. I was too afraid because people won't understand me. And now I speak up. It took a while, took a long while. So I think it's just practicing it and it works. Remember, strength to become the great leader is within us. Live an authentic life. Stand up for your truth. Think about the sacrifices of your, ancestors, grandmothers, mothers, fathers, grandfathers, and you'll find strength. I look at my mom. She was so strong with the 5th grade education. She was saying, go for it. She was the one when I was doing PhD in England, she will call me. She goes, quickly write the book. She didn't call thesis. Quickly write your book, quickly. It's like, okay. And that really, I did very fast PhD because she was kept on saying, fast, fast, fast. She knew how much I wanted and I wasn't able to get it, so it's my time to do. Think about your inner architecture of the body. Inner architecture of the body. How the organs work, how the brain works, how the eyes are working. And whenever we feel sad, be grateful of that. And take some time to meditate. Thank your teachers, parents, siblings, friends, and of course pets, if you have them. Try to be mindful instead of mindful. We all are mindful, a lot of stuff in the mind, right? Like that's the one is mindful. How many of you were thinking other things when the meditation was happening? Because we are always mindful, right? But we try to do caring for others. And this is my last slide. Go with soft power. I call it soft power. Resilience, virtue, compassion, communication, clearly asking what you want, clearly communicating our issues, clearly asking for the needs of our community. So leading from inside out, self-awareness growth, presence, influence, engaging with others, powerful listening, collaborative communication, generating value, just not customer delight, but the delight of all our, those who are serving, and success of our university or company where we are working, leading teams, facilitation, conflict resolution, coaching through development together, not in a one way, but all together. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vina Howard. Let's give her another round of applause, everyone. That was great. All right, everyone, we're nearing the end, and I know you guys are getting hungry. So before we venture off, it's lunchtime. Please feel free to grab a butter chicken. There are vegetarian options on it's going to be towards the end, towards the trash can, and there's a V on the table that marks the vegetarian options. So please feel free, stand up, stretch, mingle, grab some lunch, and yeah, it's time to network and mingle a little bit more. Oh, please take all the snacks. We don't want them to go to the trash. So grab snacks, juices, grab everything you guys might want to take for the road. Thank you so much, everyone.
is enjoying your lunch, your meal. I have the honor, the joy of closing. Please, we have plenty of time to and network and mingle. So I'd like to just close by thanking everybody for being here on your Saturday and sharing this community with us. I'd like to thank our awesome MCs, Miss Daisy Tao and Dr. Bond. I would like to also thank our two wonderful keynote speakers, Dr. Vina Hauer and Mr. Tony Losanco. I'd like to thank our amazing, truly amazing and so brilliant student panelists. I'd like to thank every single one of you for spending your time with us. And I'd like you to leave you with a few words of just, welcome. I'd like you to remember that you are capable. I'd like you to remember that you are somebody, that you are leaders, and that this community is yours, that we welcome you, and this is your community. And finally, I'd like you to remember that you are talented, and we look forward to seeing you in classes. We look forward to seeing you in Asian American Studies on campus. And please call on us if we can assist you and help you as you pursue your career here. So thank you so much, everybody.
To remind everyone, but please take your time. This does conclude our Student Leadership Symposium. So give yourselves a round of applause for being here and staying with us. So please feel free to stay. Like we said, finish eating, mingle. Please take food. There's still some leftovers in the back. And also, Dr. Bond would like me to remind you to submit your community event. So make sure you write your paragraph about what you learned and why you're here so that we can learn from one another. So thank you guys for participating today and being here with us. Thank you.